Tonight, as the winds quietly caress the window frame, as the rain gently falls on the old roof, I invite you to step with me into a gentle story, weaving through every heartbeat. The story of a letter that was never sent. A letter that holds so many years, so many unspoken words, and a silent love that has lasted through the years. The story begins that autumn, when the roadside trees turned golden and the air started to carry the early chill of the season. Henry Sampson, a young man who grew up in a small town, always carried simple dreams and a sincere heart. Henry had a childhood best friend, Claire. They grew up together, sharing every joy and sorrow, and went through their innocent youthful years side by side. But that friendship, over time, gradually became deeper. Henry began to realize that, in Claire's eyes, in every smile of hers, there was something that made his heart tremble. He did not dare to confess, fearing that speaking out would lose that precious feeling. So, every day, Henry suppressed his emotions, letting them grow quietly within him, silently like the autumn passing over the small town. One day, when the town was glowing in the golden late autumn sunlight, Henry decided to write a letter. It was not an ordinary letter, but all the feelings, the unspoken words of love, the memories the two had shared. He wrote that every morning when he woke up, he longed to see Claire, that he missed every glance, every time she giggled. He recounted the afternoons they sat by the lakeside, dipping their feet into the cool water, watching the sun slowly disappear behind the distant mountains. Henry wrote that maybe one day, Claire would know about this feeling. But then, when placing the letter into the envelope and sealing it, Henry hesitated. He couldn't send it, perhaps out of fear, perhaps because he wasn't ready to face the possible changes. He put the letter into the desk drawer, where it lay quietly for many years. Time passed, Henry left the town to pursue his dreams. He went to study far away, then worked in the big city, where there were tall buildings and crowded streets. Claire also had her own choice, staying in their hometown, building a simple but peaceful life. They kept in touch, but distance and time gradually pulled them apart. Calls became less frequent, and messages were reduced to brief greetings on special occasions. 10 years have passed in the blink of an eye. Henry is now a grown man, carrying on his shoulders worries and silent memories of the past. One day, he received news that his mother was ill and had to return to his hometown. The train took him across the fields and familiar roads. Everything was still the same, the rows of trees, the small street corner, the old cafe where he and Claire used to sit for hours just talking about everything in the world. Back home, Henry felt every heartbeat pounding anxiously, as if all memories rushed back in an instant. While tidying up his old room, he accidentally found the letter from years ago, still intact in the desk drawer. The faded writing, the paper yellowed over time. Holding it in his hands, he unconsciously smiled, both shy and nostalgic. 10 years have passed, so many things have changed, yet the feelings inside him remain as pure as the first day. That night, when everyone was fast asleep, Henry walked out to the lakeside, the place where the two of them had once sat together. The moonlight shimmered on the water, reflecting distant memories. Suddenly, he heard soft footsteps behind him. Turning around, he recognized Claire, still gentle in appearance, her long hair flowing over her shoulders. No one said anything, they just quietly sat down together, as if there had never been any distance, never any time apart. After a long moment, Henry mustered all his courage and handed Claire the old letter. She opened it, reading each line, her eyes gradually shimmering. The atmosphere was silent, with only the sound of the wind gently blowing through the trees by the lake. Claire turned to him, smiled gently, and placed her hand on Henry's, a light touch warmer than anything he had ever felt. They sat there, without needing to say another word. Sometimes, the most important things don't require words. Just a glance, a hand held, is enough to understand all the hidden feelings in the heart over many long years. The story of Henry and Claire is not a romantic tale like in famous movies, with no sweet vows or grand declarations of love. It is simply two friends, two kindred spirits, who were once apart, once missed each other, but ultimately found their way back to each other thanks to a letter that was never sent. Perhaps the most beautiful thing in each person's life is not what we have said out loud, but the things kept in the heart long enough so that when we meet the right person at the right time, we dare to confess. An unsent letter, an unspoken love, can also be the seed for wonderful things to come. If you have ever written a letter that you never sent, remember, sometimes, those very things are the bridge between the past and the present, between unfinished dreams and new opportunities. Don't be too regretful, and don't be too hasty. Everything will come at its own time, just like the way Henry and Claire met again under the moonlight that year. Out there, the world is still changing every day. According to a recent study by the British Post Office, up to 50% of British people have never sent a love letter, even though they believe that love letters are gradually making a comeback. In the era of technology, instant messaging, and video calls, handwritten letters seem to have become a luxury. But it is precisely that slowness, that gentleness, that we need to connect with each other more deeply. There are letters that never reach their destination, words that are never spoken, but these are what nourish the soul, help us grow, and teach us to cherish every moment and every person who has passed through our lives. Sometimes, an unsent letter is not just someone's personal story, but the reflection of an entire generation, of those who quietly love, hope, and dream. On long nights, lying down and listening to the rain falling outside the window, have you ever thought of someone, wanted to say a word, wanted to write a letter? Maybe you will never send it, but that doesn't matter. Because the moment you write it down is when you are facing your truest feelings. It is healing, a place for you to release all worries, to lighten your heart amidst the busyness of life. The story of Henry and Claire is the same. They do not regret the years that have passed, nor do they blame each other for being silent for too long. They simply sit together, listening to the wind, the rustling leaves, and the gentle beats of their hearts. They understand that sometimes, love does not need to be loud, nor does it need to be publicly declared. It only needs to be cherished, respected, and truly lived in every moment. Perhaps, each of us has an unsent letter, someone we haven't had the chance to say, "I love you," to, something left unfinished. Don't be sad, and don't rush. Let everything come naturally, like how autumn follows summer, like how the sun rises after a long night. One day, you will meet that person again, or realize that you have grown because of the things left unsaid. Tonight, as you listen to this story, close your eyes, relax your body, and let your mind drift along the gentle flow of memories. Remember the people you love, the warm memories, and the things never spoken. Let your heart be healed, comforted by the tenderness of time. Outside, the rain continues to fall steadily on the roof. The wind still blows through the window frame, carrying the chill of autumn. In the small room, the soft yellow light covers every hidden corner, as if embracing and protecting unfinished dreams. Let this story lull you to sleep, like a gentle hug, like a goodnight wish from someone far away. If tomorrow morning you wake up feeling a little more peaceful inside, smile. Because sometimes, just a gentle story, a beautiful memory, is enough to soothe the turmoil in the soul. And if one day, you want to write a letter, whether to send it or keep it, just write. Let your emotions guide you, let your heart speak, and let the good things always stay with you. Because, on the journey of life, everyone needs an unsent letter, someone to remember and cherish, and a belief that the gentlest things always exist, even if we may have never spoken them out loud. Wishing you a peaceful, gentle night. Let your heart softly drift along with the stories told. Listen to each breath of time, and dream of the beautiful days ahead. Thank you for listening. Let sleep take you back to the land of memories, where all unspoken things are embraced, protected, and healed.